conditions and commitments by Olympus. And we'll talk about the road layout and what the improvements are proposed to be. Initially, I believe there's 5 wells are proposed initially with the ability of more at a later date. The first witness we're going to have tonight is Mr. Ryan Daly. He's a project manager with the engineering firm Civil and Environmental Consultants, also known as CEC. We'll have several other witnesses potentially tonight, depending on how long his testimony takes. Just some preliminaries for the record. We've marked as Exhibit A the application binder that was submitted to the township back a month or so ago. And that binder has a number of materials in it. Our intention is not to testify on all these, but certainly if the board or members of the public have questions, we'll have people here that can answer that. But that binder has, Exhibit A has 16 subtabs. Tab 1 is the application form. Tab 2 is the cooperation and surface agreement with 508 Wall Street. Tab 3 is a list of the adjacent property owners. Tab 4 is a detailed project narrative that addresses how the application complies with applicable ordinance requirements. Tab 5 is an overview map and a variety of site plan. So, several of these have been enlarged on boards, and Mr. Daly will be testifying to those. Tab 6 is the Federal Aviation Administration sign-off on the project. Tab 7 is the Pennsylvania DEP approval of what's called an ESCGP2. It's erosion and sediment control general permit, which addresses both temporary erosion and sedimentation control while the pad is being constructed, as well as permanent stormwater facilities on the site. Tab 8 is the erosion and sedimentation control report. Tab 9 is the post-construction stormwater management report. Tab 10 are drawings for the erosion and sedimentation control and the post-construction stormwater management. Tab 11 is Olympus's draft, what's called Preparedness, Prevention, and Contingency Plan. Tab 12 is the Pennsylvania Natural Diversity Inventory, also known as PINDI, that Mr. Daly will talk about briefly. Tab 13, and I know this will be a lot of interest, is the proposed haul route to and from the site. Tab 14 is a 72-hour, what's called ambient sound study. That's basically a study of what the existing sound conditions are at several points in and around the proposed well site. Tab 15 is what's called a sound impact assessment, and we'll have a witness testify to that. Basically, that attempts to project out what sound levels will be from the operations of the well site. And then tab 16 is a geotechnical report. So we'd like to include that as Exhibit 1 in the record. Exhibit B.
Mr. Lucas, can you put your microphone just up towards your face? Yeah.
That's better. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, they're all the same.
We'll also have Exhibit B, which we'll introduce a little later, is excerpts from a PowerPoint presentation that was given to the Board of Commissioners while we were Olympus was engaged in discussions about the highway occupancy permit. There may be some other exhibits that we decide to introduce as the proceedings continue. So with that, we'd like to call Mr. Daly as a witness.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So you got it.
I do. Yeah. And Ryan, could you state and spell your full name for the record?
Ryan R.
Ryan. Okay, spin this back. Forget it.
Yeah.
Ryan R-Y-A-N Daly D-A-I-L-E-Y. I'm a project manager with Civil and Environmental Consultants, also a licensed professional engineer in the state of Pennsylvania.
And what is your role on the proposed Tahara well site project?
So I was as I said, I was the project manager for CEC. We oversaw the site design, so the ENS plan, PCSM plan preparation, also the environmental reviews of the site.
So Ryan, let's first focus on kind of the general location of the pad and its immediate surroundings. In that regard, you have in front of the board a large board labeled OB-1. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that is also included for the record is in the application binder as Exhibit A5A. So Ryan, if you could you just provide an overview of the site?
Yes. So Route 51 is divided in this location between northbound and southbound lanes. That actually cuts through the bottom left quadrant of this exhibit. The airport that was mentioned is just to the north, just off the edge of this paper. The ice garden facility is located central to this on this exhibit, and the well pad is located just northwest of the ice garden facility. So access to the site will come off of Route 51 northbound onto Gallatin Road. From Gallatin Road, we'll enter onto the Ice Garden driveway, which is existing. And then from there, they will enter onto the proposed access road, which will connect back to the well pad site.
And OLYMPUS has an agreement for that access.
Yes, that's correct.
Talk about what the setbacks are.
So under the township ordinance, there's a 200-foot setback from a proposed well borehole to a protected structure or existing water source. We've conservatively shown that from the edge of the well pad. The wellheads themselves will be located internal to the pad. And we'll have additional witnesses that can describe those exact locations. But for purposes of the setback here, we're conservatively estimating that from the perimeter of the well pad itself.
The pad will comply with the ordinance requirement?
Yes, that's correct.
Let's talk about the location, nearby structures. I think the closest are some of the Salem Church Road. You just provided the board what some of the relevant are.
Yeah, so the closest structures along Salem Church Road are anywhere from 350 to 500 feet away from the edge of the well pad. As you move around to the west, as you go further to the west, they get farther away. So up to like 1,100 feet away from the pad. As we circle around to the south, where Mr. Rourke's property is located, he's approximately 780 feet away from the well pad. The Ice Garden facility is over 500 feet away from where the pad will be located. And then as we move around to the east and the northeast, the distances get further. Directly to the east is over 2,000 feet away to the nearest structure and over 1,000 feet away to the northeast.
And what's the terrain like in the region?
So the highest point on this property is located just east of the well pad. So going north from the Ice Garden facility would be the high point on this property. If you can see on the aerial, almost this entire property is forested currently. And with the exception of clearing that will be required to construct the well pad, the remainder of the property would remain forested.
Let's zoom in now on